Oh my goodness. 12 of you. Wow. I just can't say thank you enough for hanging out, wanting to hang out with me. And my goodness, I just this is crazy to me. Every Wednesday you guys hang out with me for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Alright, so let me say hi to everybody. So I saw in the chat, I saw D-Tori, I see Super Johnny, Smoking Tones Barbecue, Tom, how you doing? Mr. Calamadas, Craig from Bastard Strops is here. Smoking Tones said he cooked some bone-in strip steak tonight. That's what's up. Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue. Yeah. Brandon, Eric Moreno, how you guys doing? Alright, so it seems like when I set the notification or I send a notification saying, yeah, pretty much the regulars, like the dozen of you that are here almost every single time, and I can't say thank you guys enough for hanging out or wanting to hang out with me. It really does make me feel, you guys are my friends. Oh man. So I think I called this topic tonight. I was like, you know what? Let's talk about busted cooks. What has been your, like, I know I've had some busted cooks, and it seems like more often than not the cooks that I have yep, pretty much, Lou, that's it. There's been a couple cooks. Torian, how you doing this evening? There's been a couple cooks that I've had that have just flat out gone wrong. You guys saw the video so far yesterday, or actually this morning I put up that video about trying to cook those poor man's burnt ends. That was $30 worth of meat. That's not necessarily a poor man's burnt end. It's just less, how do I put this? It was more expensive than brisket, but because it was a smaller piece of meat, it ended up working out to be less money. If you guys get what I'm saying. But nonetheless, that was a busted cook. It did not turn out correctly. It didn't turn out correctly at all. And tomorrow, you guys will see the finale, the rest of it. Come on, phone focus. There we go. So, what are some of your guys' worst cooks, or the cooks that just totally went south? And then I know I've talked about there was a cook, East Coast Tony, how you doing, man? There was a cook that I had for a friend of mine that went completely sideways as well. So there are 22 of you on the live stream. If you haven't already, say hi down in the comments so I can make sure I say hi to you. And also, can you please leave me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs up? I'd greatly appreciate it. So whatever wave of, YouTube I was riding, it seems to be on a downward slope, and I'm okay with that because, I had my best month ever last month, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, so, up. Lou Calamadas, here's your first mistake. You talking about planning for a 12-hour cook. Oh, well, see, here's the thing. See, you can't plan for a 12-hour cook and then be mad when it's done early. You just deal with it. It's done early, okay, get it up, cut it up, put it in the pan, let it rest, and then you warm it back up. Simple as that. Alright, so Lou said he had a brisket that was going at 250 degrees, planned for 12 hours. It was for someone, and it was done in about 6.5 hours. Okay. I don't see the problem. This past weekend started 4 hours late due to weather, and it was for a family gathering. Alright. Craig, I get it. Me, myself, and I, Farmer, how you doing this evening? Brian, the smoked turkey meat came out like mush. Was it overcooked or undercooked, Tom? Hello all from WCH, Ohio. I don't know where WCH, Ohio is. All right, Tim Brown says, how can I get some of my good barbecue down here in Georgia? All right, so Tim, on my Instagram page, you can just send me a direct message, and we can work the rest of it out. So what were some of the question I asked was, what were some of you guys' worst cooks or things that happened? You know, we all have horrible cook stories. Peter B says, winter cooks in general are hard to maintain temperatures. So if you're having a hard time maintaining the temperature, the problem when you're cooking in the cold is you have to realize that you have to introduce more air into your cooker, and or you're going to be burning more fuel. You have to cook differently in the winter than you do in the summer, and it is a drastic change. I know I go through a third more fuel in the winter, especially in the in Bessie, the big wood burning smoker. All right. Nah, Lou, what for what? Man, just sit on it. Tom says he cooked the temp 170 degrees. Maybe the turkey was just bad, or maybe they froze it and didn't thaw it out properly. I don't know, man. Sometimes it happens. I was telling Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue that the worst thing is when you open up a pack of meat and it's bad, like bad, and it could be in the middle of the night or something like that, and you're kind of SOL. I know, I've been there. Brandon says he jacked up his first brisket. It was 2 hours past planned time and tasted horrible. Oh, all right. WCH equals Washington Courthouse. Yep. So Luke Alamada said he wrapped it up and put it in the cooler. Only advice I have for putting food into a cooler is the cooler is not going to reduce the temperature. So if your meat is on an upward trajectory, like if you are just taking it off of the smoker, you put it into a cooler, it's going to keep cooking. And the cooler is going to help insulate it, which means it's going to keep cooking further. So what I always caution, folks to do is take it out of the smoker, let it rest in the counter for half an hour or so, then put it into a cooler to keep it warm. But that's just me. What do you guys think about that? Thank you, Tim. First cook on his cooker. Everyone left before the barbecue got done. Oh man, Mr. Perez, I know that feeling. Mr. Perez, you sent me some mail. Did you send me mail? Just yay or nay? I just want to make sure I'm thanking the right person for what it is. I got Borracho Barbecue. Como esta, senor? I did a pork one over the weekend and ruined it. No idea why. I've done so many that were perfect, but of course, the bad ones were a party. Sometimes it happens, man. Every now and again you have a bad cook, and you know what? I bet you learned more from one bad cook than you have 10 good cooks. Definitely. Yeah, Lou, you have to be careful about putting food into a cooler when it's on the upward trajectory. Jim's Reviews. How are you doing this evening? Is it sir, ma'am? I don't know. Plenty of leftovers. Alright. Mr. Perez, I just want to say thank you, sir, very much. Mr. Perez sent a heartfelt letter. You want me to read this? I really wanted to take time and give you a shout out, if you will, since I have your attention and everyone else's attention. I've yet shoot. Mr. Jimenez says, "Hey Justin, how you doing?" Mr. Jimenez says, "I have yet to cook a good cast iron cornbread. I will let you in on a little secret. My wife has been trying to make biscuits for a very long time. She hasn't gotten it right yet either. Don't tell her. She might be on a live stream. No, we'll see if she comments in a second. The wife cooked steaks in the oven using the broil and did not trim the fat. Flames broke out and got the oven mitts throughout the door." Oh man, we've all been there as far as fires in the kitchen. All right. Yep. Borracho Barbecue says had to be bad meat. Tom, I agree. Torian, yeah, again, never put the meat in the cooler right after. Yep. Brandon Barr says, amen, I'm learning from bad cooks. Definitely. You gotta find the chicken we talked about earlier on Instagram. Best chicken cheesesteak ever. Oh, yo, I know. Okay, so the problem is, and this is one of the things that's crazy. You know, alright, I will read the letter. I gotta, you guys know me. I need more build up. So, more build up. But before we get to that, so Beach and Barbecue, we were talking, so earlier today on my Instagram, I posted a picture of some beef, some chicken I cut up, some peppers, some onions, a can of mushrooms, some cheese, and I think that was about it. And I said, you know, one guess as to what I'm cooking. Torgy, is Torgy in here? Torgy, you here? It's Torgy's fault. If you haven't already, please go out to Torgy's YouTube channel, Torgy's Travel and Barbecue, and he made a cheesesteak. And you guys know I'm from Philadelphia, so I was intrigued by his methodology on making a cheesesteak. At the same time, the Philadelphian in me was screaming, "You're doing it wrong." That's what I commented on this picture. Not that, you know, I had anything against it. It's just the snobbish Philadelphian in me was doing that. So I had to make cheesesteaks tonight for dinner. And actually, I tried to film a video, and it just, like, it didn't work out. So, unfortunately, you're not going to get a video about me making cheesesteaks. I got, like, 75% of the way there, and it just all fell apart. Like, I wanted to... There are times when doing videos or filming videos with my kids and other things like that is great. And there are other times when it just doesn't work out. This was one of those, it just didn't work out. But anyway, Beach and Barbecue, when I went into Giant this afternoon to get the meat, I was going to get, you know, steak for us and then chicken for my wife because she's picky when it comes to eating beef. But what's crazy is she said, I am a Puritan when it comes to cheesesteaks. They have to be steak. Like, I went through all this extra stuff to get you chicken because I knew you probably wouldn't want the beef, but it doesn't matter. Anyway. Alright, Greg Jones, how you doing? Preston, oh man. Jalapeno cast iron cornbread. No clear tonight. I am out of clear. Actually, I have, you know what? Let me get the last little bit I have. Alright, so this is an 8-ounce, what are these things called? I can't think what it's called. Anyway, it's probably only a shot or two left in here. Well, you can see, there's how much is left in here. I'm sorry. Alright, so Brandon Page says the secret to cast iron cornbread is to put a small amount of oil to get the oil hot. The cornbread mix should bubble when you pour it in. Eric, I see you, man. Beechin said he started his first kitchen fire at about 8 years old. Alright, so Super Johnny says cooking for about 40 people. He overcooked 2 briskets to where they just fell apart as he sliced them. Luckily, he had tortillas and everyone made brisket tacos. That's what's up. I'm going to read the letter, don't worry. Good, huh? Preston, who you talking about? Or what you know, I hear you, man. Alright, let's see. Let's try it. I hear you, man. Oh, Tom, you gotta get a cheesesteak. Yes, flask. Jeez, I don't know why it was a, you know, I'll send you some real clear if you send me a real cheesesteak. Yeah, flask. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Alright, so this is all I have left. I finished my last little bit. I took it with, where did I go? Oh, won the steak competition. I took it with me then. So, but this is all I have left, and you see how much was left in here. All right. Ooh, this one's been sitting a little while. Cooking for 50 people, put chicken on the grill, came back 2 hours later, and to my surprise, opened up the grill and realized he didn't fire up the grill. Wow. Greg, you know what? That was kind of what happened to me the other day when I didn't open the daisy wheel, the top piece on the big green egg. If you don't open it up, it will not come up to temperature. Ask me how I know. Yeah. Oh. 2 years ago, Lou said he did a brisket. 5 hours into the smoke, he decided to finish it in a foil pan in the oven. The pan had a hole in it, and he didn't realize that until the wife fired up the oven 2 hours later. I've had similar things happen to me where I've brought food in the house, and those foil pans, if you flex them too much, they can and will develop like a crack, and that crack is just enough so by the time that the moisture starts to come from the meat, it'll drip into the oven. Yeah, another one. Ask me how I know. Alright, so Wink and Pay said a secret to cast iron cornbread is jalapenos. I don't quite understand that, but maybe y'all can do a video. Let me know what I'm missing. My mom was pissed, but I cooked this dinner. Quentin Chamberlain says, just joining the live. How did the poor man burnt ends turn out? Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, you guys shall find out. Don't wait to build up too long. I have to crash early. All right. Here we go. Steel drum smokers. This is not a handout. So my man, Mr. Perez, he sent the donation. All right. This is not a handout. This is kind of a payment for the hours of work you do. To share your work is awesome for all of us. I feel very lucky to have your knowledge at my disposal. Disposal. Again, thank you for putting yourself out there, for putting your work out there, for putting all of your viewers first on a Wednesday over some alone time with your family. My wife, I showed her this, and she focused on that line right there. Let me tell you. P.S. Your live stream runs late for me. I have to get up early, but I will check in to say hi. Bet on it. Please, brother. Peace, brother, to you and your family. Mr. Perez, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This really means a lot. Like, no BS. Aside from the donation, that really means a lot. By a show of, just comment P.O. Box. Would you guys want me to open up a P.O. Box? And I know I've kind of talked about it in the past, but I really didn't think that it would be, I don't know. I didn't think that you guys would send stuff. But if you guys think I should open a P.O. Box, comment like P.O. Box down below. Alright, so smoke was everywhere and it took 2 hours to smoke alarm to stop, Lou said. When you're doing catering events for pulled pork, what do you figure a pound per person, a third? So, Brandon, I usually, again, and you guys have heard this, and I usually recommend a half a pound of meat per person for an event. So, if you figure you have 100 people, I'm figuring 50 pounds of meat, and then at 25% overage, well, that works out to be about 65 pounds. I round down to 60, and then I say 20 pounds of pork, 20 pounds of chicken, 20 pounds of beef brisket. All right? Most people I cook for here in Texas love fall-apart brisket and most prefer it. There's a difference between brisket that slices properly and brisket that's overdone. Every now and again, I'll get a brisket that's overdone, and it could be just a couple degrees. Yeah. Did you tailgate at games? Oh. No, I don't tailgate. I haven't. I kind of went. So I had somebody invite me to a Ravens tailgate, and he kind of wanted to show me, like, I don't even know how we got to talking, and this guy was like, hey, man, I really want to show you. I think he brought me down there to try to see about trying to help him cook, as opposed to me selling food. But I went down to where he was selling food, and it wasn't the right fit. Like, it was his stuff, and I couldn't just like fall in, like, because his stuff was way more established, if that makes sense. Elizabeth, Dr. Ramirez, how you doing this evening? I figure 4 ounces per person for catering. I mean, like I said, I figure half a pound per person with jalapeno, add cheese, and all right, man. I must say, the big green egg cooks look sweet. So Greg Jones, I won't say a love-hate relationship, but it is different from every other grill that I've had. One of the things I would like to do, and I actually came to this realization tonight when I was cooking on it, I would like to raise the grate up, just to give me a little more flexibility, because of the fact that I can't move the heat source. I either have to cook on a diverter plate, and then that does raise the grate up, or I'm cooking, and it's probably, you know, 4 or 5 inch difference in the level between where the grate is directly on the top of whatever the ceramic ring is versus when it's on top of the diverter plate. And that separation will give me the ability to slow the cook down. But if you notice, there was a cook I did a while ago where I pushed the charcoal kind of into one, like to the back of the big green egg. Excuse me. I think I'm going. That was a verb. Oh gosh. This is resulting of drinking it straight. I think I'm going to start trying to cook on it that way. So then I have a hot zone and a cool zone in order to try and slow my cooks down. Because the big green egg, sometimes it just goes balls out. I see add-ons per person. Yep. Travis, what's going on, man? I made those same beef burnt ends on Friday. It took me over 7 hours. However, it came out great. Well, my first time was not the best. All right. Whoop. Straight, and it was warm. Yeah. Jarvis' disease is gonna be 30 pounds. Oh, Dr. Ramirez, get a room. Yep. Wow. Okay. No, I've never catered for tailgate. Not really catered for a tailgate. I've delivered like parts and pieces of food. Morgan State University is on the other side of Baltimore, and there's a guy who follows me on Instagram who, this is iced coffee in here. Alright. So the whole thing was, it was Morgan's homecoming, and there's a fraternity. It was a music fraternity, and they had me bring a whole bunch of food. So technically, I took food to them for their tailgate, but for their homecoming. But it wasn't like going to a professional game. All right, Jeff, I hear you, man. Oh, guys, get a room. Alright, world famous P. I have an arborist. There is a frequently asked question talking about where I get wood from. Okay. Chuck, good luck with your event. Scott Hathaway. Or Hathaway, I'm sorry. Good first name. Got distracted. Stop reading correctly. Chuck says he's catering 300 person event on the 16th, and he's using 5 ounce finished pulled pork. plus a 25% overage for those that might want seconds. I guess, are you only doing pulled pork, Chuck? Just my question. Tom says, when is the next SCA event? The next SCA event is actually not this weekend, but next weekend. It is on Saturday the 1st. Jackwagon. Actually, I mean, really, Lou, I might have to look into that, because I'm used to the adjustability of using my big grill where I can raise and lower the heat source. As it's really hot, obviously you move the heat away, and as the heat starts to die, you move the heat closer. Joaquin, how are you doing this evening, sir? Cater for football parties. Yeah, I've definitely catered for football parties. I've done some pretty massive cooks during Super Bowl time. You know, multiple, like the first, right before I bought Bessie, I think I put 5, maybe 6 cooks, like 6 staged cooks through 2 steel drums for the Super Bowl, preparing for, cooking for, and like, I knew then that I needed a bigger smoker. You guys look down at that's hey, were you guys that bad, or was everyone just that good? I mean, how many different variations can you do with the steak? Greg Jones, you will be surprised. We were confident, and it was one of those things where we didn't know what we were getting into, and it just has to do with the lack of experience or because of the fact that we weren't or hadn't done any sort of competitions, either one of us. So it was different. It's a feeling, man. I just can't explain it. It is, we sucked compared to everyone else. And again, just like I said in the video, are we bad competitors but decent cooks, or are they better competitors and bad cooks? We don't know yet. So that's why on next Saturday, the 1st, I will be taking the SCA class, and then I'll be able to find out exactly what we were lacking. But one of the main things is the steak we turned in was a little overdone, so that didn't help. And then one thing snowballs into the other, and then, you know, so on and so forth. Ricky Jordan, how you doing this evening? Brian, how you doing? Eric, you guys are hilarious. What's a good topic? What do you... Oh, Kenneth Vance. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for those of the folks who've been in and hung out in the live streams before, I don't really try, like, things that I've covered multiple times, I'm going to refer you to try to look back. I did a frequently asked questions video. There's a whole playlist. There's 9 videos so far. One of those videos talks specifically about woods, so I'd ask you to take a look at that. Tonight, we're going to try to talk about busted cooks. You know, what's been your worst cook? Everybody has bad cooks, so drop a story in the comments and we can keep going. No worries, Scott, man. You have a great evening. You can always watch these later. Hey, don't forget, guys, end of the month is coming, and the raffle for the steel drum smoker is still happening. I have been kind of busy and tied up. We went on vacation for a whole week, so I haven't gotten the build started just yet, but I'll have it done before the month is out. And you can pick up your chances to win that brand new steel drum at brbque.com. Again, brbque.com. You can pick up a sticker. The stickers look like this one. Stickers look like that one there. And you can pick up a sticker, one sticker, and a chance to win for $20, 1 entry, or you can get 3 chances to win for $50. So brbque.com. Again, also I am taking pre-orders for shirts. I think I'm going to get that ball rolling with those shirts ordered, to get them ordered in hand soon. Just because I'm I'm getting kind of antsy. Yeah, Joaquin, how you doing, man? Cool meme. How much charcoal do you use to smoke with a big green egg? So East Coast Tony, that's the thing, man. I've never actually measured or weighed. I just kind of pour a little bit in and then start the fire. When I'm done, I close everything up. There's still always charcoal left over. Actually, today was the first time in a while that I started the big green egg like at 2 o'clock, and I cooked on it, and I started cooking on it about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I kind of just let it slowly come up to temperature. I started cooking on it about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I had the temperature cranked up. I took the diverter plate out, cranked the temperature up to like 400, between 400 and 500 degrees, and I cooked on it for a good 45 minutes. My wife sent me on an errand. I kind of slowed everything down. When I got back to the house, the grill was still hot. It was still sitting at 450 degrees. I started cooking again on it, and then I kind of made the decision because it started to fall on its face, and it was slowing down about 425, 400 degrees, and I added more charcoal, and it ramped right back up. It took about 20 minutes, half an hour for it to come back up from about 300 degrees to between 400 and 500. Then I got it settled and ready again about 500 degrees. I finished my cook. I cooked the cheesesteaks completely out on the grill. I sauteed the onions, I sauteed the peppers, I warmed up some mushrooms, and then I cooked the steak out on a skillet on the big green egg. I wanted to cook it all outside today, and I did it over the course of like 2 hours. It took me to cook it, like I said, because I started cooking, my wife sent me on an errand, and then I finished cooking. But today was the longest cook I've done on it in a while, and that was like a 4 or 5 hour cook. I really don't do much slow and low cooks on it because of the fact that I have smokers, and it's easier for me to use a smoker than it is to that. Jack, tell Betty I said hi. For Weber. Baracho Barbecue says, has anyone bought a custom wooden handle for their Weber? If so, how did it turn out? No, Jack. I honestly thought about getting a part-time job there at Harbor Freight, but I figured if I were to get a job there at Harbor Freight like one night a week, just so I could use the discount, I would spend way more money in tools than I made by working there, and I'd be hustling backwards. So Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue says, worst cook having to put pork butt through a meat grinder because it just wouldn't pull. It was his fault. He bought picnics and didn't know the difference. Luckily, at the end of everything, everyone loved it and didn't complain about the texture, but he was devastated. Well, I tell you what, Jeff, there is really very little difference between a shoulder and a picnic, or a butt and a picnic, aside from the fact you really just got to cook the mess out of both of them. The picnic is going to have, the picnic is the one that looks, so we've talked about this before. The shoulder is this piece here. The picnic is this piece here. The picnic is going to look like a smaller ham, and it'll also have more flesh on it, more skin on it. And to me personally, I will cook a boneless pork shoulder before I cook a bone-in pork shoulder before I cook a picnic. The picnic is usually not half the price, but if a picnic, you might be able to get picnics for 99 cents a pound, $1.25 a pound. The shoulder might cost you $1.50 a pound, $2 a pound. But to me, the loss for the bone and the skin and the extra fat is worth it for me to just pay an extra 50 cents and get a boneless pork shoulder, because then I know I'm getting a higher yield per se. But that's just me. 40 people watching, only 5 likes. Let's get them thumbs up. Hey, thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate that. If you haven't already, what he's talking about, please leave a thumbs up. It helps these videos immensely. Shane Skinner, how you doing this evening? Ooh. So Joaquin says worst cook was beef ribs on a propane. It was a grease flash, burnt slam up. Part 2 is done. Ricky, I didn't make you guys wait very long. Part 2 will be up. It'll be live tomorrow. Picnic is his thing, making it on the oven, getting the skin crispy, making some chicken chicharron. Oh, yeah, buddy. Well, Dr. Ramirez, you're not alone. I have a few friends that make good stuff. This is I'm pouring cold brew iced coffee. I went to 7-Eleven this morning. I got some for myself and my wife. She didn't finish what I got for her. So guess who's drinking iced coffee or cold brew coffee? And I have ice in my little container here. In lieu of clear, since I'm out, I gotta get some more soon. Anyway, hey, John Corneau, how you doing this evening, sir? Ricky, I told you it'll be live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Dr. Ramirez, we can't talk about the pulled pork though. I want to talk about that peach, the recipe for the peaches. What's up with that? Like, sharing is caring. Smokehouse Barbecue, how you doing this evening, sir? By the current price is $1.19, and we smokes at $1.95. The bone just pulls out like a rib bone on overcooked ribs. Yeah. All right, Chuck. Again, Chuck, you paying $1.19 per pound, and you have the loss, the weight for the bone and for the fat and the skin. I'll pay $1.50 a pound, $1.60 a pound, and I save that that weight. I'll be able to buy this almost the same amount of meat and have a slightly higher yield. Me personally, the bone to me, no value add. Elizabeth Ramirez, or Dr. Ramirez, says our worst cook just recently that we tried hot and fast cook on a brisket. Man, that thing did not turn out good. It burnt on the ends. We were pissed. Hey, you know what? Tom says iced coffee needs rum. Let's see how much room I have in here. I got some room in here. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so we have a Bacardi, or we have this is white oak rum. One of my coworkers went to Trinidad, and when she came back, she brought this back for me. Whatever. Got my, I don't know, backwoods fatty smokers. Anybody use a backwoods fat boy smoker? Yep, the peaches. We'll do a video. Yeah, please, Dr. Ramirez. Please, please, please. So Shane, alright, so Shane, the poor man's burnt ends, they were edible, but they did not turn out as well as they did in the video. Alright, here goes. 1, 2, 3. Alright. It is clear. Not my normal clear, but it is clear. Rum tonight. Let's see. I'm not that big of a rum drinker, but Tom, asking you shall receive. Harold Fleming. Harold, where in Philly are you? I think we talked about this before, but you're like West Oak Lane. I think we talked about, or about Germantown. We'd love to hear what everybody has planned for Labor Day. All right, John, we can talk about that in a bit. Yeah, sorry. I sent you some, man. I sent you some. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to catch up in the comments here. All right, so John, that Labor Day weekend, the first, I'm actually going with DC Cooks again. We are going to be going to another competition. He's going to be competing, and I'm going to be going to the class on that Saturday the 1st. Ricky Jordan says, any tips on a Texas barbecue pilgrimage? Have I ever been? Texas is where I got my start into barbecue, is brisket specifically. Austin, you pretty much can throw a rock and hit a barbecue spot in Austin. You can just start in Austin, try 2 or 3 places, and then go down to San Antonio. The place I highly recommend is San Antonio's Barbecue Station. In Austin, I particularly care for Rudy's, and that's only because that was one of the better places I've had while in Austin. But it also has been a few years, and from what I understand, there are some other places in Austin, in and around Austin, like La Barbecue, I think is in Austin. Franklin's, obviously. There's like I said, throw a rock, you can probably hit a barbecue spot. I can catch pork butts on sale for 99 cents a pound quite often. Just stocked up on 10 bucks this weekend. Preston, why you ain't buying me none, man? What's up with that? No, Dr. Ramirez, I don't believe she does have a channel, but then again, I know she posts a lot of videos and instructions or cooking stuff on Instagram. So, yeah. Alright, so Tom says, Labor Day, brisket, baby back, hot links, and chicken. Nice. Uh-oh, Barasha Barbecue says he's got a family cook-off going on. Now, is it 99 cents for a picnic or 99 cents for a butt? No big guns. Oh, yep, I taste the rum. No. Salud. Yeah. Yes on the P.O. box. Aw, thank you, Rob, and I appreciate that. Joaquin, not yet. What we playing? Dr. Shadow. That sounds pretty cool. North Philly. Alright, Harold. Torgy, you missed it. I talked about you. Yes, you. You were the reason why I cooked cheese sticks tonight. And I said this earlier. I got like 75% of the video done, and then it just went south. Just went south. So there will be no video about the cheesesteak, at least not this time. Maybe next time or in time when I get some quiet time or quiet period. Yeah. I like to start cooking barbecue, and how can I get started? I always recommend cooking chicken, Joe. Joe Coleman says, I like to start cooking barbecue, and how can I get started? Dude, I mean, get a grill, cook. There's a plethora of information out there. Definitely a plethora of information out there. Just kind of watch videos. I mean, this is how a lot of you guys found me, looking for something in particular, or looking how to cook something in particular, or like information on catering, because I don't do a lot of it. I do a decent amount of catering. All right, so Tom says Lockhart, Texas too. Ricky Jordan. All right, Preston says get the P.O. box. Anyone wants some poor man's burnt ends? Stay tuned. Yeah. Yep. So Elizabeth Ramirez, her Instagram is E Ramirez. That's RAMIREZ. REZPHD is her Instagram. Yo, she puts up some banging pictures of food. So when she followed me, the whole deal is her account, and this is a lesson to you guys, and I've talked about this before. She followed me, and of course, almost any and everybody who follows me, I look back at their profile. Her profile was open. Guess what? That means I can see what she's all about. You know what I saw? I saw a bunch of, hold on, I'm trying to get this to focus. I saw a bunch of cooking pictures, a bunch of pictures of food, and I'm like, oh, this lady's about that life. She's cooking. You know what? I'll follow her back, right? She sent me a message and said, thank you for the follow. What? Sure, no problem. So then she says, her husband and I are big fans, something along those lines. And I said, your husband? Wait a minute. Is his name Torian? See, I watch and I look at you guys who follow me. If your account is private, I'm not following you. Unless we make contact, I'm not following you. Why do I need to beg you to let me follow you on Instagram? It's a free platform. Anyway, so I talked to her and it was like, hey, yes, that's my husband, Torian. Okay, great. I'll follow him too. Boom, followed him. And I said, hey, it was a Wednesday. I'm driving home from work. Don't forget to join the live stream tonight. And she did. Bingo, bango. That's simple. If you have a business account and your account is private, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I'm telling you. All right. We sucked, Ray Mac. We sucked on that steak competition. Again, we sucked compared to everyone else, and sucking is putting it bluntly. I mean, we averaged a 78, where the person who won averaged like a 90. So what did I think of the cheesesteak? You know what? I commented. I said the cheesesteak looked good. It was just the Philadelphia in me was screaming, "You're doing it wrong." One of the things that, like no butter on the bread. That just doesn't happen. It's mayo or no mayo. You don't butter a cheesesteak. That type of savory, it's not necessary. If the steak is greasy enough, and I know that's oxymoronic, but if the steak is greasy enough, it'll lubricate the bread, if you will. Also, we put the cheese on the bottom on the bread, and the whole thing is the warm meat will melt the cheese on the bread. Those are just two things off the top of my head that I can think of that I was just like, you're doing it wrong. But no worries, man. It still looked good, definitely. So I'm telling you, this is sandwiches from seafood from blue crabs from Camwear seafood and delicious. Yep. So Greg Jones, he says, I know this is off topic, but he's from the South and he just received a order of blue crabs from Camwear seafood, and they were delicious. He didn't know that crab cakes were supposed to taste like that. Yes, in a crab cake, you really should only taste crab, not filler. Like, you guys saw me make that meatloaf. I don't put filler in meatloaf. The same thing. That's how I get it. I'm so jealous you guys get this stuff live. Greg, you know what? What's crazy is a lot of the crabs in this area are actually brought in from the Gulf. So, yeah. The Gulf of Mexico, they ship them back up here. Which is crazy. East Coast Tony, I'm going to be opening up the P.O. Box soon. So hold tight for me. Torgy, they did look good, man. I've been eating on a dozen and a half of blue crabs. Wow. Preston, that's what's up, man. Joe, yep, that's it. Just start cooking. Yep. Dr. Ramirez, I try to remember folks' origin stories, like how we met and how we came together. Like, I delivered food to a subscriber yesterday. When I posted food on Instagram, I'm like, hey, he hit me up. And he's like, hey, would you happen to have any of that pulled pork left? Yep, I sure do. I'm on my way. When he sent me an address, I looked up the address, and I'm like, I have a star there already. That means I've been there. And he sent me an address. I said, well, hey, is this the house? And he said, no, this is an office building. Okay. I've been there. He's like, I've been there before. I said, I've been there before. I don't remember how or why, but once I get closer, I'll see. So the direction that I went actually was funny. I drove past another lady's job. I called her and I'm like, hey, I know this is kind of strange, me hitting you up, but I'm like at the corner of your job. I have pulled pork. I'm getting ready to drive, away. Would you be at work? Would you happen to be at work? And would you like some pulled pork? She's like, oh my gosh, I'm walking to my car right now. If you can meet me in the parking lot. I'm like, yo, you're in the back lot, right? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, okay. Boom. I go there. I sell her food on the way to selling food to the dude that called me up. And then lastly, who was the last person that got some? Oh, last person was a guy in a barbershop. He hit me up. I sold 4.5 pounds of pulled pork in a matter of 2 hours. And that was nothing. I used to sell 4 to 6 pounds of pulled pork in the same 2 hours or so when I was doing it hot and heavy. Alright, when he started, he had no videos to watch or literally anyone to help him. Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue, I completely understand and agree. I meet so many great people from back on Instagram, and you talk back. Yeah, man, whoa, Joaquin. I do talk back. Sometimes it's, I try to reply to you guys. I'm like, look, if you take the time to hit me up, then the least I can do is reply when and or if I can. Cheese on the bottom is the art to creating sandwich. There is an art. I'll have to give you a jingle later and ask him. No worries, man. Just let me know, Torgy. Alright, so Torian says he's telling Joe there's a lot of videos out there. He basically pulling them to my older videos. Pressing this buy a dozen, get 6 free. Hey, man, shoot. I can do that math. That is a dozen and a half. If anyone thinks he doesn't look or care back as much as we do, seriously. Yep. If anyone thinks he doesn't look or care back as much as we do, seriously, I'm telling you, he looks at us and cares. I definitely do. Jeff from Out of Order Barbecue, he and I had a conversation just yesterday. No, Andrew, I have not. I would like to come and swap it. 12 valve P-pump, come and swap that Dakota. That's what I'm saving for. Alright, John, you have a great evening, sir. Passing out, brother. Cocoa Beach, see you in the morning. Hey, man, Baracha Barbecue, adios, buena noche. What is my dream smoker? Dexter Jackson is another one I spoke to within the last week. Let's see. My dream smoker? I don't know. Like, would my dream smoker be? Give me a couple of minutes to think about it. Dude. Shane says he cooked pulled pork for the guys at work. They tore it up, and now they're doing an all-out cookout in October. That's what's up. Super Johnny, I know why you're laughing. I know why you're laughing. I know why you're laughing. Evan Molan Labin from Instagram. Hope all is well. Thank you, sir. Hey, if you are following me on Instagram and I'm not following you back, chances are your profile is private. But if you comment on a picture on Instagram telling me, hey, you saw the live stream, or comment on anything that's like, hey, I'm from, YouTube, I will follow you back. I will. I just don't follow back random pages. I just can't. I can't. So anyway, we are almost an hour in. There are 38 of you guys on the live stream. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget, I'm going to make mention of this, and I really only push and talk about this. Alright, I only really talk about it on a live stream because I figure you guys care the most, basically. I have stickers available, alright? I have stickers available. They are on the website, my merch website, which is brbque.com. Again, brbque.com. On there, you can find the stickers. The stickers are $5 a piece. I'll send you some. The chances to win the smoker are still going on until the end of the month. There's $20 for one chance, $50 for 3 chances, and then also you can pre-order your t-shirts. Hey Andrew, you and I need to sit down because I'm going to be placing an order for shirts. I have 15 orders already. I was trying to hold out for 40. I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and order some sooner than later, and then maybe we'll do a reproduction. So anyway, brbque.com. All right, that's what's up. Thank you. Appreciate that, Andrew. Tagged you on my Instagram photo on strip steaks he grilled tonight. Smoking Tones, is your profile private? Because if it's private, then I won't be able to see it. So sometimes people tell me, oh, I tagged you. I didn't see it because your profile is private. And if I'm not following you, then I can't see it. It's not that I don't care. Everyone loves the neighborhood smoker. Yes, indeed. Vanna's doing good, Tom. I have I haven't. It's one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And because it was so warm, it seemed like I was having issues with it cutting off, with her cutting off because it was so warm. Like when I turned the air conditioner on, the RPMs would drop down, and if our RPMs dropped down, it would shut off. That happened to me twice. Though I do carry, or I do have starter fluid in the van. And I told you guys before, when the fuel pump went out on my Passat, I ended up having to use the starter fluid to get Vanna started so I could drive it back home. And I just haven't driven it in a few weeks because I don't want to risk getting stranded somewhere. Just need to kind of ante up and pay the money and take it somewhere for it to get fixed. Joe Coleman says he did a whole pig on his birthday. Came out good, was a 90-pound pig. Wow. Brandon Page says, do you guys smoke chicken at 275 degrees or higher? So, Brandon, I've talked about this before. Skin on chicken needs to be cooked at 275 or slightly higher. Boneless, skinless stuff, you can cook it lower and slower. So there's your answer. If you did a whole pig, why? If you did a whole pig, why you need help? Exactly. I was kind of thinking the same thing, Preston. I wasn't going to mention that though. All right. FPS Machete says he just followed me on Instagram. All right. Thank you, sir. Perfect. So Tom, yeah, I have a couple folks who I would kind of trust to work on the van, so I would know I wouldn't be getting cheated in repairs. But I also don't want to burden anybody with having to fix it because I know there's probably something rather intense that needs to be taken care of. But for right now, it can sit in the driveway. She's fine. Alright, Jeff says he's going to order more than one. Ever do a dry brine on my chicken? We do that, and it really helps penetrate the flavor and get the crispy skin. So you guys have been talking about like dry brining or using cornstarch to dry out or dehydrate is a better word. Gosh, see, this is why I shouldn't be drinking. Been up all day. Even the rum in the coffee, it's counterproductive. Rum is definitely not my drink of choice. No problem, Jeff. I figured what you were talking about. But there's been a couple of you guys who have talked about cornstarch and chicken. So chicken wings or whole chickens in particular. But I have not done that just as of yet. I just don't. Usually, I don't have the. Yeah, Travis, brbque.com. There's stickers. Shout out to Andrew who helped me get that taken care of. Shout out to Andrew again for helping me with the shirts. There are little guy Andrew sizes and little guy you and me Travis sizes out there as well. Pre-orders for those shirts out there right now. Right now, basically, if you order a shirt now, you get the shipping for free. Once I actually get the shirts in hand and have to send them out, you'll have to pay for shipping. That's it. Preston says he did a fried chicken on his Weber. Turned out really good. Breading was crispy. Okay. Working on the car. What car are you parting out? Selling in rubs and sauces, if so? Having it mass produced in Pratt. No, I don't, Nick. So, one of the things I've talked about before. So, yeah, Tom, give me a second. Wow. Nick says, have you ever tried selling any of my rubs or sauces? If so, how are you having it mass produced and packaged? So, Nick, there are places out there that will take a recipe and, you know, you sign some sort of non-disclosure agreement or NDA, and they will produce it for you and label it up and sell it like that. But I use a combination of things that you can buy off of the shelf. I'm a firm believer that those people in places who have spent all of that money to get that R&D taken care of, there's no need for me to reinvent the wheel. And I just don't. So I don't use anything that I cannot buy from someone or somewhere, be it mail order or off the shelf or from a store locally. So Tom, what I've seen people talk about with this whole cornstarch thing is they will take chicken, you know, rinse it, wash it, do whatever, and then dust it with cornstarch or whatever it might be, and then let it sit in the refrigerator for like 24 hours, and it will dry out the skin. It will dehydrate the skin. Then you season it, however, and you cook it, and it's apparently great. I've seen a few people talking about it. So, Craig from Bastard's Drop says, you have to be careful. Chesapeake Bay crabs are much better than the ones from the Gulf. Better weight and flavor due to the cold winters in Maryland. Okay. Alright, so Preston says, breaded just like deep fried chicken, but cooked on the grill indirect at 325. Interesting. I see part of the problem, and I started talking about this, or I started saying it. Usually, when I go buy chicken, I don't get it in advance. I'll get chicken. I'm one of these people that goes to the market 2 or 3 times a week, and I might get 2 meals. Like today, I walked around and around and around. I will go into a Giant, and if I see something that's like marked down or discounted, I will buy that and cook that, and that'll be the thing that I'll cook, and that'll be how I get, like, you know, make that decision, as opposed to spending $10 for some ribeye steaks, or, you know, $10 for some New York strips or something like that. If I'm spending 5 or 6, I'll spend that, and I'll buy 4 or 5 steaks, and we're gonna eat good tonight, as opposed to me going and buying the same amount of money, spending the same amount of money in chicken. Yeah. So, yeah. Preston says he's a bulk buyer with a vacuum sealer. That's exactly it, man. I do the same thing. There's certain things that I will buy in bulk and split up and vacuum seal. My wife got me a vacuum sealer, like, well, she got it for me for Christmas last year, more or less. We don't really do a whole bunch of Christmas gifts, her and I. We more or less really care to try to make sure the kids have a better Christmas. But for the most part, she's like, hey, I got you that sous vide thing. I know this is a piece that you'll need with that, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. Merry Christmas, not Merry Christmas, because it was like middle of November. But she was like, Merry Christmas. So, yeah. Alright, so Joe says he know what permit he needs to get started. That is definitely, Preston says, check your local courthouse. You might not even have to go to your local courthouse. You really just have to find out what the vending rules are in your state or county or city. It can be contingent. I mean, the rules are different in Maryland, county by county. So you kind of have to figure out what you need there. So I can't tell you. I can't help you there. All right, Mr. Louisville Slugger, how you doing this evening? All right, so Brandon, I can tell you what. In order, he says he has to get his chicken wing, his chicken mostly wings to come out right. The chicken seems to be a little chewy. Let them cook for a little bit longer and or intensify the heat. Those are the only two options. That's pretty much it. A person says they should be able to direct you to your local offices, Tom, or excuse me, Joe. Man, I know that feeling. I have been working from home all week because my kids have not gone back to school yet. And talk about mentally tired. People, I sit, because of the fact that I'm sitting at my laptop at home, remoted into work, I'm like diligently refreshing, checking emails. Like I'm on. Where if I'm sitting at my desk at work, I can kind of daydream and surf the internet, and someone will stop past my desk and say hi or ask me what they need. But because I'm not there, they're sending me direct messages and emails and things like that. So I have to be on top of it. And for whatever reason, like everybody wants something. Smoking Tones Barbecue says, can you sell barbecue out of your backyard? Most places will tell you no. In the state of Maryland, I'm sure the answer to that is no as well. Franklin did it probably under the radar because he billed it as a party and he wasn't selling food, he was accepting donations. And that word right there is, how you get around it. But there are a lot of folks who are selling food out of their houses, their homes, and it is frowned upon, obviously, for health reasons. This is the first week. We've been in office for about a month, man. Shoot. Yeah, Brandon says he works from home as well. He usually cooks while he works. I am a little better than that. Usually I don't cook. Like I told you today, I started to grill at 2. I'm done at 2 p.m. My shift starts at 6 a.m. and I am done at 2 p.m. So, like, I'm off. I'm not say off, but I get up from my laptop. Hey, man, Mr. Perez, thank you again so very much. Your donation will go towards the opening of a P.O. box. Poor man's burnt ends. Do you think it was brown sugar on the beef? I haven't heard of sugar on beef. This is something. What? Never heard of brown sugar on beef, man. People put sugar on beef all the time. There's plenty of sugar. Like, those Cosmos Q's rubs, like, the first ingredient is sugar. If it's not salt, the second ingredient is sugar. There's a lot of sugar in a lot of different seasonings. It just might be, it could be a regional thing, but the brown sugar, like people put brown sugar on ribs all the time, man. I can tell you this, it was not the brown sugar. I had someone else comment that they were willing to bet that it was the brown sugar that burnt up. It wasn't. It wasn't. In Texas, we don't use sugar on beef. I mean, I know what you guys do, but I'm telling you, there's sugar on barbecue. There's sugar on brisket. I've seen it. I've seen it. There's a lot of folks that do use some sweet to offset the cut to that pepper, to offset that pepper, to dumb it down, if you will. Celery seed gives a more pronounced smoke ring if used in a rub. Nah, Brandon. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to do a video on. I tried to do that video too on smoke ring. It's not celery seed that's gonna help you with your pronounced smoke ring if used in a rub. It is temperature. If you put cold meat into a cooler smoker, you'll get a more pronounced smoke ring. Period. Every single time. Every single time. Oh, it was Chuck. Chuck was the one. He said the first ingredient in Sweet Baby Ray's is high fructose corn syrup, which is sugar. It was not the sugar that did me in. Yeah. You find the rest best to cook ribs on site versus the night before. So Nick, I don't cook any ribs on site because of the fact that it takes ribs very long to cook. I usually cook if I have an event. So this Saturday I have an event Saturday and I have an event Sunday. So this Saturday's event I am cooking brisket and I'm cooking chicken, and we're gonna talk about this Saturday's event because this is gonna be fodder for lessons learned. I know it. Like, this was difficult. This was a difficult one. So the event is at 3 p.m. I have to be there at 3 p.m. She wants food ready by 4 p.m. So 3:15, which means I need to leave my house at 2:30 because she's an hour away. Which means I have to have briskets and chicken done and ready to drive, as well as my car packed, the trailer packed, and the grill up on a trailer by 2 p.m. Because of that, if I were to go to her house, that would mean I would need to be there, you know, however long it's going to take me to cook those ribs early. No, we can't do that. So I started the night before. I cook everything the night before at home. I get everything ready, and then I take it on where I'm going. We're going to make the trailer update video. You know what, Caden? I've been thinking about that because it's been 1.5 years since I finished. Well, it's been actually about 1 year since I finished the trailer. So how was your cruise, sir? How about that? It's been about 1 year since I finished that trailer, so I have been kind of slacking on an update. Meat takes smoke up to 145 degrees to lower the starting temp. Longer it takes smoke. Preston, you are absolutely correct. That is called the Maillard reaction. The whole thing is when the outside temperature is high and the temperature in the meat is cold, when those temperatures kind of come together, that's where the smoke ring stops. So when you have a more pronounced smoke ring, that means your meat is colder, and because your meat is colder and it's taking longer to heat up, the heat is what's actually producing the smoke ring. And as the heat comes in from the outside to where the internal temperature meets it, that's where smoke ring stops. Very, very cool stuff. Brown sugar makes the burnt end. All right. Hey, Booster Plinko, how you doing this evening, sir? The caramelized fat makes the burnt end, Tony. Officer Roman? No, that's not Roman. That's Nick, Travis. Winking Pig says the first and second ingredient in most all commercial sauces is sugar. Charles Rogers, how you doing? Water pan or dry smoker? Water pan every single time. The water pan will help you get a more even temperature because the water in the water pan acts as a heat sink. We didn't use sauce on our beef either. Winking Pig. Jeff says he lives in Texas and he sugars the sugar honey iced tea out of his meat. I'm not worried about it. I just can't say it because, you know, YouTube will demonetize me. But in the comments, it's cool. I don't care. Brandon, I don't. I've talked about it a few times before. but I don't have a specific video talking about it because I haven't had to do it in a while. Austin, Kate, see, Caden, you guys don't think I care, and I don't think I watch, and don't think I see. I watch you guys on Instagram, man. I see what's going on. I don't always call, comment, but yeah. Hey, Craig, you have a great evening, sir. Damn, grown-up job interfering with the live stream. Alright, Out of Order Barbecue says he uses turbinado sugar, which is cool. How the deluxe performer? So, Smoking Tones is still in pieces. I actually started putting it together only to open up the box and discover that there was no instructions inside of the box, nor hardware. So I had to call up whoever they're supposed to be sending it out. So, Lincoln Pig says he doesn't sauce his meats either. He makes his own sauce and then he has it available. Charles Campbell, I talked about this earlier today. I talked about wood. I talk about wood rather often and rather frequently, or have in the past. To not repeat myself on the live stream, I won't talk about it. Though it's not necessarily my favorite wood. It is what wood is most prevalent, and for that you have to go to, there's a frequently asked question talking about wood. I'd ask you, implore you to head out to the FAQ on wood. Super Johnny says he needs his own sauce. Yeah. Shane is coming. It's coming. You guys, it would be nice if I could drop everything and just go out to the garage and work. The problem is, it's too damn hot to be out in the garage working right now. We are in the thick of summer, and it's just too hot. So I'm not motivated to go out to the garage and work on the drum, and that means I would be working on it later at night, and I've got a bunch of other things going on. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. Who's Kobe? Joaquin says he needs to find a good grill to travel with. Too much time on the road. Dude, where there's a grill, there's a way. You gotta kind of make or find a grill that will work for you, and you just take it with you. Who's Kobe? Kaden says there was a barbecue place on the cruise, and it was not real barbecue. Oh man, I know that is disappointing, isn't it? Alright. So there are a few of you on the live stream. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. So Nick asks, how do you reheat pulled pork for an event, and do you reheat to a specific temperature? So this is a double-edged sword. If I pull pork, how do I answer this tactfully? The official answer is, so let's say I'm pressed for time and there's no way, like I have an event and it's at noon, I have to deliver food at noon on a Friday. There's no way I'm going to be able to cook Thursday into Friday morning. So what I might have to do is cook Wednesday night into Thursday morning, have everything done, have everything pulled, put everything away, refrigerate everything. Okay? Tom C says he adds rum to his sauces to kill the sweetness. Interesting. But, so Wednesday into Thursday I'm cooking, and then Friday morning I'll get up and I'll reheat everything. I would try to reheat everything. It has to go up to 165 degrees. Is the official answer. Usually, I try to make sure everything is above 145 degrees before I do anything else with it. So hopefully that answers your question. Kate, I would love to get a truck. Problem though is it is way more difficult to cook barbecue out of a truck than it is most anything else, because of the fact that if I put a smoker in a truck, it has to be propane or electric, and I don't want to compromise that. That's it. His name is Kobe? Did I say that right? Is it Kobe, Tony? I'm all about the kids, man. You guys know I try to include my kids in videos from time to time. Other times I'm just like, I want to get this video done. Leave me alone. Don't ask about being in the video. Just go away. Sometimes they complicate things. Caden, I would see, Caden, the way that I would really like to do it is to be able to have a spot. Because if I have a spot, then I can do anything I want to with a spot. But if I have a mobile station, a mobile place of business, there's a lot more that gets tacked on to those folks who have mobile businesses, which is unfortunate. The main thing that is a hindrance is the fact that if I have a mobile spot, a truck, food truck, or a trailer, I have to use, or I'm supposed to use, a commissary kitchen. That puts a huge wrench in the transmission, if you will. How's the Maverick working out for you? Have you figured out it yet, or is it still a pain to use? So Kevin, it is still slightly a pain. It's like where the first time or two it was like a pain level of like 9 out of 10. Now we're down to like a 4.5 or 5 out of 10. I am just I'm having to deal with the differences. The main problem I have is I've grown so dependent. Like I could in my sleep program and do what I need to do with the other ready check devices I have, and this one is just, it's the exact opposite. Like I don't know who decided to put the controls on the transmitter and not the receiver. It just irks me. So Shane, there are times when I'll do it either way. If I am, so let's put it like this. If I'm cooking for an event and I am cooking in advance for an event and I know the event is in a day or so, I will pull the pork ahead of time, then put it in the refrigerator, because I can pull any moisture and get any fat or any other renderings off of that meat and I won't suffer. Now, if I have extra food and I'm like, okay, you know what, like actually that pulled pork I sold the other day, I had cooked it a while ago, put it in a freezer bag, vacuum sealed it, froze it for a while, thawed it out, warmed it back up, then pulled it. There are times when if I have an order for, let's say I have an order for 5 pounds of pulled pork, but I have to cook 15 because of the way that the packs come, I might have some pulled pork left over. Well, as opposed to packaging it and just letting it sit around, I will thaw it out or I will freeze it and I will have it for a rainy day that I can mix in with another cook. Like let's say I have an odd amount that I need food for. So if I get a 15 to 20 pound pork shoulder and I'm going to yield half of that, but I need 12 pounds, well, I need a little extra. I'll take something out of the freezer and I will mix it in and put it all together. And that will be how I can get the weight that I need. If it's an odd amount. Typically for events like that or things like that, what ends up happening is that extra amount that I have will end up becoming something I sell on the side. Caden says he's 15 and he loves watching my videos. Man, thank you so very much, Caden. I appreciate it. You got, you sir, are our future. You are a maker. You are a doer. I'm a fan. Let's put it that way. Buying some skirt steak for dinner tonight, $10.99 is ridiculous. I could get ribeyes for $6.99. Seems like beef prices are on the rise here in Dallas. Dude, they are. Beef is just going up. It's going up. It's going up. Camera share kitchens are a big thing here in South Carolina. Food. Wow. Chuck says he pays 25% of his gross for his commissary kitchen. Wow. That's one thing. Yep, Kevin. Joaquin, I understand. You have a great evening, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you, man. So, Smokehouse Barbecue, you know what? I tell you what. If you get a Sam's card, get the Plus membership. And I know it's more money, but what happens is you get cash back. I spend a lot of money at Sam's. Usually, the amount of money that I spend in Sam's in a year, just like on purchases for my family, is enough to pay for the membership the following year. So just keep that in mind. Dr. Ramirez has a nice tip. She says if you check Groupon, you can get a membership for like $25 when they have a special running. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for all I do. Nah, man, thank you, Shane. Definitely. You have a great night. Thank you, East Coast Tony, as well. Beef prices are creeping up in Massachusetts. Oh, man. They're creeping up everywhere, all around the country, all around the world. Da, 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 da. Not a big rum fan. Yeah. That is, I don't even know how. So you know what I did? I got the Plus membership 1 year at a discount. And then when I found out they were offering cash back, I was like, wait a minute, what? I have how much money? How? So, yeah. Nah, I'm not running low on a drink, man. I know better. One drink. I have never tried Caden. I don't know if you know this. You maybe not don't remember. Thank you, Lou. I don't eat pork. I can count on one hand how many times a year I eat pork. Yeah, I don't eat pork. So, I cook it. Obviously, you guys see. But I don't eat it myself. I'll cook it for the family, and I was gonna say I'm due to cook some pork chops for them soon. But what is the difference between wild hog and like a regular pig? Please tell me. Is it sweeter? Is it more gamey? You know. Yeah. Travis. No pork on my fork. You know, you know me for a while. You know how I roll. But I'm not gonna like turn my nose up or say ew in anybody's, ribs or anything like that. Okay. Well, what's the allure of a wild I know, Travis, I know you do. How's cooking on that smoker you have going, man? Taste, marbling, wild heart, depending on the diet, is amazing. Okay. So it's similar to how like grass-fed cows versus like Kobe, or grass-fed cows versus grain-fed cows. All right. Moody Fish D. He says, how do I come up with my event prices? And he's struggling with that. And he says, nice content. So what I would ask you to do, I have an entire video, or a few videos actually, talking about pricing and how much to charge. Man, Sweet Lou, you blowing me up, man. All right, Travis, I hear you there. Mooney Fish D, so, excuse me. I have a few videos devoted specifically to how do I charge for an event or how much should I charge. If you look in the playlist in the frequently asked questions or FAQ, the answers to that question are there. Only thing is I don't like continually talking about the same things on the live streams, just to be fair to those people who have heard it like 14,000 times already. You might be new around here, and I don't want to not tell you, so I'm just going to point you to the place where you can find that information. Hopefully you understand. Alright, so here's a valid question. Nick says, am I asked about... Nick is shouting, by the way. All caps. It's okay. I've got thick skin. I can deal with it. So Nick says, am I asked about licenses often before a catering event? If so, how do I get around that? So I have been asked as many times as I've cooked, or not cooked, but catered events. I have been asked about licenses exactly twice. The one time I was asked about a license, I will be completely upfront, or I was upfront, and I said, you know, I don't have the official Maryland State catering license. And I explained to the person why, and they told me, okay, fine. And they said, you know, they couldn't use me, and I'm like, that's fine. The organization they were with, it was one of those liability type things, which again is fine. I understand that. The other place was when I was pretty much just starting. Like I was a year and a half in, and I was like, yeah, I have every license I need. And I said I have a business license. I didn't say I had any sort of, you know, catering license, but I did say that I had a business license, and the guy was like, all right. And he didn't ask anything else. All right, so Dr. Ramirez pretty much is on the same thinking. She says like grass-fed cows, you can taste the difference depending on where you are sourcing your wild hog or where you are hunting. It will taste like what they eat, nuts, fruits, etc. Sweeter meat. That's cool. John G says, can you hold a brisket in a Cambro for 6+ hours? If you think about it like this, you can put something into a Cambro and it will lose heat, but it will not lose heat. So let's say you have that brisket at 200+ degrees. If you let it sit out and it gets down to 180, you put it into a Cambro, and the Cambro, it will lose temperature. But let's say it's losing a degree or two every hour. It can hold, yes. Will it hold for 6 hours? Possibly, but it's contingent upon what temperature you put it into the Cambro, what else is in the Cambro to suck heat out of that brisket, what else is in, you know, the environment, how many times the Cambro is being opened up and closed. There's a lot of different factors to that. So is it possible? Yes. Is it ideal? No. But then again, they have some Cambros that are like you can plug in, and they are actually an active warmer and not just a passive warmer. Oh, Smokehouse Barbecue. That's right. We were talking about hogs, and the other day, well, not the other day, probably a couple weeks ago, we were talking about hogs, and he was explaining the differences between what a hog is versus a pig and other things like that. A boar will taste gamier because of the particular gland, something you have to be careful with. Alright, here in Texas, we got many hogs. They must up here land pretty bad, and it's good to take out as many as possible. I can imagine. It sounds like better meat. Never been hunting for them, but love to go. Yeah, well, Dr. Ramirez, I'm sure, you know, get Torian to take you out. Wow, hogs are a rat to the woods. Big problem here. That's what's up. Traveling man, trap them in a pen and feed them corn. Cool. I just like to finish food right before an event. I can use some tips on what I can finish first and hold versus trying to finish it all at once. Within 1 or 2 hours before delivery. John G, man, every single thing that you can cook ahead of time. I always prefer cooking and having things done early as opposed to trying to have things done at exactly on time, because as soon as you need to have something done exactly on time, something's going to mess up. Point blank. Thank you very much, Mooney Fish. Like I said, I don't want to not answer your question, but I have answered it in a different format. So, like I said, hopefully you understand why I'm not going to answer it again here. Just for everyone else that's on the video who's already heard me tell them how I charge, why I charge. What's up, Bongo Man? Funny dude. But the whole thing is, if you build in some error time, you don't have to rush. Being rushed and cooking is stressful. Wow. Caden says he's going to send me some pictures on Instagram of what the hogs do to land there. Man, I can only imagine. I can tell you. Excuse me, we have deer. Shoot, there was some deer in my driveway the other day. Man, they come up from the woods from behind my house, and they actually, it's funny, my wife looked at her tomato plants, and she's like, what did you do to the tomato plants? I'm like, me? I didn't do anything. I'm going to talk to your sons. She's like, they're all cut about here. And we got to talking and thinking about it, and she was like, maybe it was a deer that came up and did this. Sure enough, probably was. Deer ate the tops off of the tomato plants. Yes, Nick, I do have an actual business license. I have an LLC set up. But there's a business license, and then there's a catering license, and then there's a vending license, and then there's lots of different licenses per se. But yes, I do have the top level business license. So I do actually have an LLC registered to my business name. Bongo Sabroso. Deer meat definitely does have to be cooked a different way. I would love to, man, but shoot, I'm no hunter. John G, thank you, sir. Deer makes some good eating. I actually have a deer loin. A friend of the family, one of the guy in my number 2, so my middle son's class, his father is a hunter, and he gave me he hooked me up with some deer meat. I gotta figure out what to do with it though. I have no idea. Caden, you know what? Not really concerned. We've had a garden probably for the last 5 to 7 years and never had a problem whatsoever. The majority of the garden is inside of a fence, so that's most likely why we haven't had any problem. This just so happened to be the first time she planted tomatoes where she planted them, and yeah. I'm gonna add smoked turkey for Thanksgiving. Do you think I should? Oh, Ash, yes, Kevin. Smoking a turkey is drop dead simple. I know a guy who has done a complete walkthrough, a complete video on how to smoke a turkey, like temperatures, seasonings, times. Anybody know? I can't remember what this guy's YouTube channel was, but it was pretty informative if you ask me. But you know, I'm a nobody. I'm a little guy. Yeah. So Bongo Sabroso says deer meat cooked too long will be gamey and chewy. I think deer meat in general was just gamey. Toxic Productions, hello, how are you? I should cook it the day before or trying to time it right. Kevin, I will tell you this from experience. For Thanksgiving, I cook everything non-turkey Tuesday into Wednesday morning. I get everything separated. I get everything, you know, if this person wants 2 pounds of brisket, or this person wants 3 pounds of pulled pork. I get all that stuff separated and portioned off. And then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, I cook all of my turkeys. Okay, my big smoker has the capacity to cook. I cooked 16 turkeys in that smoker at one time. And the most turkeys I've smoked in any one year was 20 or 21. I cooked, like I said, I cooked anything non-turkey the Tuesday into Wednesday. And then anything that I have to cook that is turkey, I cook Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So hopefully that helps. Bruh, I'll send you a nice recipe and make it with, depending on what you got. Listen, Dr. Ramirez, we might have to talk. I have a couple different things. He gave me like 4 or 5 pieces of deer meat. And he's like, oh man, he's like, I just don't want you to waste it. I won't waste it. I just don't know what to do with it. Tom, he did tell me, he did suggest making a chili. I wanted to make a chili with some brisket I had, but nobody wanted my brisket chili. Everyone didn't want the brisket chili around the house. I was so amped to make brisket chili and nobody wanted it. I snuck some brisket into some vegetarian beans though earlier this week, and the kids tore it up. So Nick says, what's the easiest way to obtain a license like I mentioned? So best thing I tell you is you're going to have to contact or look up the rules for whatever county you're in. If you're in Baltimore City, they vary different from Howard County or Baltimore County or even Montgomery County, Anne Arundel County. Every county is different. So as far as catering license, that's a state thing. Vending licenses are a county thing. So you have to look those things up yourself. I love duck too. Kind of. I went somewhere recently. Oh, there's a restaurant, underrated restaurant in my opinion. It's a small little restaurant up the street from our house, and we went in and I asked the waiter, I said, what's something on the menu that is really good but people shy away from it? He said the duck. I'm like, duck? From a seafood restaurant? He's like, dude, I'm telling you, it's good. Bring me a duck. Bring me a piece of duck. And man, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. It was really good. I told him later, I said, dude, you really need to start pushing that duck, because it was pricey, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, I need to take my wife on a date. We need to go back up there. Southeast Texas in the house. Alright. Frying the heck out of it. Nice. Nice. I had deer so gamey when I was younger. I swear I'd never eat it again until a buddy introduced me to venison and it was properly processed. It makes all the difference. Just because you call it venison, it's still deer, man. Grind deer up with bacon and add fat contents. Baby's burgers are great. Traveling man, I do not. I've said this before. I don't eat pork. Personally, I don't eat pork. So I don't grind anything up and put bacon in it. To me, putting bacon in things is cheating. It's like LS swap and everything. Super Johnny, where you at? Chicken fried deer steaks, yum. Deer meat is really just lean. You can cook it just like a pork loin. I don't have very much experience cooking pork loins either. I've cooked a couple of them. Problem is, my wife is not a fan of white meat, and that pork loin is like, pretty much is just straight white meat because it's so lean. It helps. Thank you, Kevin. Not a problem. No, I'm not blaming. Oh, no, I wasn't blaming him. I just told her I didn't know what happened to her tomatoes. So I didn't. It's not that I was blaming her, blaming the kids. I'm like, I don't know what happened to your tomatoes. I know I didn't do it. I'm like, talk to them. That's all. Yeah, man. Hagen de Lane. I've done pork belly a couple times. I did I do a video on the pork belly? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Ever had deer tenderloin? Cut it about half-inch slices. Beat the slices thin. Lay in the middle of slice jalapeno. Oh, interesting, Brandon. Man, beef burger, but baby deer are good too. Wow, $1,000 a year to hunt ducks, man. Shoot, dude, hogging the lane, adding bacon and stuff is cheating. It really is. Corey, how are you doing this evening? They, you know, Bongoso Broso. So I tell you what, you get me drunk enough, I'll be dancing. I don't need Pernil to get drunk. To be dancing a salsa. All right, I mean, really, I don't. I've been watching all my videos, cool channel. I'm working on getting his set up now. That's what's up, Hagen the Lane, man. Definitely good luck to you, sir. Well, Dr. Ramirez, I don't think I knew you were Dominican. I mean, obviously I knew you were Latina. I could have guessed Puerto Rican, Colombian, Cuban. But Dominican, that makes sense. Funny story, quickly. So my wife and I went to the Dominican Republic for a honeymoon. And we go down to the Dominican Republic, and at the time I was working at the beer and wine store. At the beer and wine store is where I learned, or I picked up a lot of my Spanish as of late or recently, because of the fact that I was working in a bank. And the people I was working working with in the bank, in order for me to open up accounts, it was a crew of guys. They worked for a company called Donato's Drywall. I think it was Donato's. But the majority of those folks were Salvadorian. Okay? So they're El Salvadorian, and they spoke majority of Spanish. And when they came into the bank, and in order for me to open up an account, guess what? I had to speak to them in Spanish. So while I was working at the beer and wine store part-time, right before and right after I got married, I'm like, yo, I need some extra income. I got to pay for this wedding, or I got to pay for this, pay for that. Before my wedding, I'm like, yo, y'all need to teach me Spanish, because the majority of the people who worked there the owner was Puerto Rican. He had some of his family who were there, also Puerto Rican. Costa Rican was there, Colombian was there, Nicaraguan was there. I mean, all types of stuff, right? So the majority of the people who came in there, were El Salvadorian as well as Brazilian. So they used to come in and they look at me, man, I'm light-skinned black guy, and they used to start talking to me in Spanish. I'm like, lo siento, no hablo español. And they're like, oh, why not? Basically. So I got really good in the probably 8 to 10 months that I worked there. I'm Latino by association. All right. 100% moreno. Okay. So, but the majority of people thought I was Dominican. So they used to come in and speak to me as such. So I said, you know what? It was so funny that a lot of these people thought I was Dominican. So when my wife asked me where I wanted to go on, on my honeymoon, I'm like, let's go to the Dominican Republic. Since everyone thinks I'm Dominican, be fat to the meat. There's so lean and he's some kind of fat. You're absolutely right. So anyway, I'm like, everybody thinks I'm Dominican. They speak to me like I'm Dominican. Let's go to the Dominican Republic so I can see what it's all about, right? So we go to the Dominican Republic, and you know, I think I'm hot stuff, man. I'm using my little bit of Spanish that I know, and we're standing at the little buffet at the resort that we're in. The resort was called the Punta Cana Princesa. Okay, we stayed in Punta Cana, and had an absolute ball. But the inside joke that my wife and I have still to this day, almost 15 years later, I'm standing at the buffet and this guy's like, "Oh, it's the sign says queso," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Hey man, what, what kind of cheese is that?" He looks at me and he's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Ooh, I'm about to flex my Spanish muscles." I'm like, "Amigo, ¿qué tipo queso eso?" And he's like, "¿Qué?" I'm like, ¿Qué tipo queso eso? And he's like, ¿Qué tipo queso? And he's like, ¿Qué tipo queso? He repeats my question. And I'm like, sí, ¿Qué tipo queso? Alright? And he says, es queso normal. I'm like, no. Es queso de americano, es queso de Switzerland, es queso de blanco, de queso de... He was like, tipo queso? It's queso normal. I'm like, dude, like, this gotta be a kind of different type of cheese. He was like, nah, I asked him the same question 3 times in 2 different languages. And he was like, he just gave me the dumbest look, like, what are you talking about? It's cheese. I'm like, dude, there's gotta be like, what kind of cheese is it? And he's like, it's cheese. Like that whole scene in Do Where's My Car, where, you know, the lady's like, and then, like, I just kept saying the same thing, and he kept saying the same thing, and I kept saying the same thing, and he kept saying the same thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, ah. And the difference was, we had multiple different types of cheeses, they didn't. And he couldn't comprehend that there was more, or he was just like, this is regular cheese. That's all it is. And yeah. I just, yeah. So then he asked me, why do I speak Spanish? I'm like, why do I speak Spanish? Because I learned. He's like, yeah, well, Bangosa Baroso, that's pretty much it. It was like a queso fresco, or yeah. And the whole thing was, that was the cheese. It was queso normal, alright? And yeah, that's exactly it, man. We went to do this, like, it was almost like a who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third. So it's like, alright, who's on first? Yes. Who? Who is on first? Who is on first? Like, who? Like, that's what I want to know. Who is on first? Yes. But the whole thing was, after the whole, you know, que tipo queso exchange, he asked me where I'm from. And I'm like, yo soy de Philadelphia. And he's like, your mother, she's from here. And I'm like, no. He's like, your father's from here then. And I'm like, no. I'm like, yo soy de Philadelphia, de Americano. He's like, no. And I'm like, yes, man. And he's like, I'm like, 100% moreno. I'm 100% black. And he's like, mentiroso. And I'm like, dude, why are you calling me a liar? Like, I'm not lying. Why would I lie to you? Like, it just boggles my mind. And again, he and I had this conversation, and it was probably 3 to 5 minutes. And that 3 to 5 minute conversation has been the butt of jokes and stories for almost 15 years now. Yeah. Well, Corey, apparently, muchas personas hablando conmigo dice no tiene un, ¿cómo se dice, accent? And that is why they think that Spanish is my first language. So, yeah, a lot of people think that I don't, or a lot of people say I don't have an accent when I speak Spanish. Therefore, a lot of people say I don't have an accent, so that's why I can pass for Dominican, or like, I won't say Colombian, but Puerto Rican, Dominican. Yeah. So, but that's my Dominican, Punta Cana Dominican story. Yeah, and it yeah. Mama Juana. Okay. Huh. Anyway, Conrad, how you doing this evening? I don't know what that is. Anyone care to explain? Tell me what that is? Because I have to take Spanish in high school, and my teacher told me I was too. Pitoro. uh, okay. Boom. Velveeta. You guys are hilarious. It wasn't Velveeta, it was white, not yellow. Alright. Dr. Ramirez, you put something in a jar for me, save it for me, alright? When I get there, or when we meet, hand that to me first. Don't even say hi, just extend the glass. And yeah. There's no such thing as Velveeta Blanco. No such thing. Alright, Dr. Ramirez, don't threaten me with a good time. You guys know I get down. Shoot. 3 days? I don't know about y'all, but I have a pretty high tolerance. I'm just saying. Y'all talking this up. I drink some pretty good stuff. Caden is funny. Caden says his Spanish teacher told him he was too country to speak Spanish. Yeah. So Nick said, do I ever collaborate on... Oh, no. Actually, I don't collaborate. I thought that said celebrate. Let me bat my eyes. Oh, Conrad, don't you know? Ah. I don't drink Henny, man. Henny give you the Henny face, like. I'd rather, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, well, look, Dr. Ramirez, if you are driving up to New Jersey, you won't even have to go all the way up there and come back. You let me know when and where on 95. I will stop on the side of the road. I will meet you wherever need be and get that from you. And yeah. Driving up to New Jersey, you send me a DM. We need to talk. Definitely. Alright. Guys, I tell you, it has definitely been fun. We are almost at the 2-hour mark. Yo, Henny, man. I gotta pick this one. That's how I was gonna get it to you. Alright. Well, no worries. Mom live in Jersey. Alright, that's good to know. Where in Jersey she live? South Jersey, North Jersey, Central Jersey? How do you ship meat? Very carefully. Nah, kidding. I put it in I have some freezer boxes or like cold packs. Newark. Woof. Corey, it really does give you a Henny feeling. Like, anyway, so I have some cold boxes or boxes that are like, coolers. And you put the meat in the cooler, and then you put dry ice with it and ship it. So it freezes everything, and then all you do is thaw it out and warm it back up, and you're good. No worries, Nick. Hopefully I was helpful. Dude, I can imagine. No problem, man. Preston, Henny is a different animal, man. It really is. Caden, I'm cool, man. You go ahead and enjoy your duck. I don't want you to incur any shipping costs. I have to send me food, man. I'd appreciate it, but really, you go ahead and enjoy it, brother. You definitely enjoy it. Like I said, I don't want you to have to enjoy or endure any cost to shipping food. It is expensive. Definitely. Don't worry about it. Just know next time I have duck, I'll be thinking about you and your spending money on duck, man. That's interesting. So speaking of duck, all right, I have family in Stuttgart, Arkansas. Stuttgart, Arkansas is the rice and duck hunting capital of the world. Is there really a white Velveeta cheese? Like, really? Y'all gonna have me doing some... Look, if I can get my password right on my laptop. Let's see, Control-T, Google. Velvitta. Come on. Velveeta. White queso. It really is a thing. Cody, I like turtles. Caden, like I said, I had family in Stuttgart. My grandmother lived in and or around. So I have some family in Hot Springs and some family in Stuttgart. Actually, and family in Stuttgart might not be there anymore. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. Wow. Jimmy, that's funny. Yeah, it is 11 p.m. If I ever do a local cook-off or brainstorming, let it be known. But I guess, yeah, man. I'm gonna be doing a cook-off in Delaware. I posted it on my Instagram. If you aren't following me on Instagram, Nick, I implore you to. A lot of times I will post things like that on Instagram. I don't really do much competition. I've only done one competition, and competition life is not necessarily. Yeah, it's not really my thing. Corey says it'll get me. Mama Juana gives you the naked as a jaybird syndrome. Tom C says off topic reggae music and some of my videos where from. So it might not necessarily be reggae. It is in the description of my videos. There's two places where I get the music. One is from. Why can't I think of the name? It's like Tom McLeod, I think his name is, or something like that. But there's a link to his website, and then the other music that I play frequently in my videos is actually my baby brother. He does production, and I asked him to hook me up with. He gave me about a dozen different beats and loops, so that might be also what you're hearing. I try to, help him out, and I put his music in the background on my videos. And like I said, I have put his SoundCloud page in the description of the videos as well. Any of the videos, you can see it. He is Black Soul on SoundCloud, and the other one is also there. I think it's Tom McLeod. Preston says, tequila makes your clothes fall off. I don't drink tequila. I had a bad experience in Mexico. Kevin says, thank you for the videos, Dash. Keep doing what I'm doing. I've learned a lot. Thanks again. Good night from PA. And I like turtles too. Cool, Caden. Please send some pictures, man. Pictures don't cost any money. I just don't want you to incur any fees sending stuff to me. Good night, Kevin. You're absolutely right. Dude, I grilled a couple of skirt steaks and the kids were licking the cutting board. Man, skirt steaks they're just one of those things that I would love to do more often, but just don't. I don't know, man. Sometimes by the time you know what I really despise? It take an hour and some change for the grill to come up to temperature, especially the big green egg, for me to cook on it for 5 to 10 minutes and then shut everything down. That's why I don't cook really hot, really fast on the big green egg, just because it takes a while for it to come up to temperature. Corey says, how can I get your brother's song? He paid to get the Light It Up. Dude, that is one of my favorite songs too. Purple Pint and Light It Up are definitely favorites, and I use those songs really pretty regularly. I can tell you what I did until he sent me the files directly. I went out to the SoundCloud, and if you do a search on Google on how to download SoundCloud files, do that. Just leave a comment, you know, like, hey, I found your music through, you know, Dash, through your brother. Just wanted to let you know that I really, really liked it. Just let him know. Tell him that you found his music through me. It'll make his day. All right? Cody says, it's Wednesday, my dudes. You know what, Nick? I've toyed with that idea. The problem is, come on, focus phone. All right, so Nick says, host a learning or how-to event to be could be profitable. Yes and no. The problem, though, is this: if you are paying someone to tell you information, you pretty much want full disclosure. And if you haven't figured out already, there are some things that I do keep for myself. There are some things that I keep, you know, in my pocket. If I'm paying you for a class and I'm paying you to learn how to do something, there is none of that. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't done any sort of like public class or anything along those lines. I have contemplated putting videos up on or through like a paywall on YouTube or like Patreon. I just haven't committed to that just yet because I don't know. Would you pay for something like that? And what would you like to know? There's the better question. What do you want to know? Patreon. Oh man, I'm gonna have to let him know that you said he's fired. That's what's up. If you alright, Caden, that's what's up, man. Man, I don't drink. Dude, I don't remember being in Mexico. That's how much Patron, that's how much tequila I drank. Again, me and my Spanish got me in trouble. Yeah. Smokehouse says use the wife's grill. It's her grill, man. Let her use it. Ooh, Jimmy. Preston, have a good evening. I want to give out my chicken salad. I mean, Tom, that's it. If you do something better than somebody else, one or two things has to happen. Either you're going to keep the secret for yourself and make money off of it, or you're going to sell a secret and then someone else might be able to do it better than you. Sometimes that happens, but it is what it is. You can do a cooking class. You can teach us how to cook something without divulging all your secrets. I definitely drop down and pay for a class. All right, well, what do you want to learn how to cook? There's a good question. Because I offered in the beginning when I was making drums, I offered to have a class on how to use the drum. But nobody took me up on that offer. I had a wingman. Her name was my wife, man. Shoot. And, and my other wingman was a white guy named Lamar. Let that sink in. Like, a white guy named Lamar. He got me drunk off my tail. What? Like I said, I do not remember, like, we were on a cruise ship. I remember getting to Mexico. I remember going to the beach in Mexico. We went to Playa del Sol in Cozumel. Okay? Went to Cozumel. We get to Playa del Sol and I say, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" Muy bien. You know, again, my broken Spanish, I speak just enough Spanish to get myself in trouble. And I say to the guy, "Yo quiero 2 tequilas, por favor." And he says, "Dos tequilas?" Sí, 2 tequilas, por favor. Okay. Oh, gracias, gracias. Una cerveza, por favor. Can. Go back to where we were sitting on the beach. I remember going to the bar 3 times. And if I know me, I ordered 2 tequila shots and a beer every time. My wife says I went to the bar 4, maybe 5 times. I don't remember that. I remember going to the bar 3 times. Now, mind you, we were in the hot sun. I didn't eat much anything. And when I say I was drunk, Bongoso, where's Baracho Man said he was gone? Yo, I was drunk. I remember throwing up in the beach or on the beach, and that was about it. I don't remember being on the beach the majority of the day. I don't remember leaving the beach. I remember with Lamar and his girl, all right? Lamar, we went to a restaurant to eat. I remember starting to sober up. Like, yes, oh man, like, I'm coming out of it. Like, whew, straight coming out of it. Lamar has the bright idea to order me another shot from a guy that was walking past with a poncho on his sleeve. He covers me with the poncho. He pours the shot directly into my mouth. He adds some salt, some pepper, again, directly into my mouth with some salsa, shakes my head up. I don't remember the rest of the night. My wife told me I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, yo, why am I so hungry? Did we eat dinner? I ate dinner. You were asleep. You were passed out. Oh, I don't like that answer. Alright, I'm going to go up to the Lido deck and go get some pizza. Took my butt up to the Lido deck and had a fresh pizza made at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Best day ever. Even though I don't remember being in Mexico. Thank you so very much. Corey, yeah, I just, I keep, like I said, I'm thinking about it. There are a lot of things that you guys bring up that I've already thought about, and there's some things that I kind of just, like, pass off. I'm like, ah, man, nobody wants to do that. And there are other things that I'm like, how do I figure out a way to make that happen? And, like, the stickers, the t-shirts, those are things that some of you guys have been bugging me about for 4 to 6 months. So keep asking me, keep bugging me about it, and then maybe one day I'll just be able to figure it out. Big Reggie says he's a white guy named Reggie. Caden, we left out of It was a Carnival cruise though. That was when we were on like the Imagination or Fascination. It was one of the older, smaller ships. Now, mind you, Caden, this was before we had kids, so this was definitely 10 to 14, or excuse me, 12 to 14 years ago. I did not run naked. I'm not that type of drunk. Tom, no evidence. No evidence. This was before cell phone cameras. Yeah. Hey, Jack, thank you so very much for hanging out. Hold on, time out. I had to fuss at number 2. He's still up. He's supposed to be... The rule is they, leave from downstairs at 10 o'clock. You guys see what time it is. Oh, man, Jimmy, I can tell stories for days. Man, I learned my lesson. I don't mess with tequila. I just don't. Not that it's bad. I'm not trying to black out. Kate, man, you 15. There's no way you have good, crazy hunting stories just yet. If you think you have good, crazy hunting stories at 15, just wait.
Hunting stories?
Yeah, he does duck hunting.
That sounds fun.
Joe Coleman says, how can I send you some pictures? No problem, Caden.
Is duck any good?
Yeah, duck is great. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody?
No.
You're just itching. That's fine. Yeah. When's the last time you combed your hair?
2 days. Actually, no. Yesterday.
No, you didn't.
When was the last time you went to Olive Garden? Wasn't that like Monday?
It was Monday. You combed your hair on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't know yet, but this is mine. This was his, but this is mine. I've been using it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see here.
Bye, everybody.
What are you doing?
Scott would get mad because I would probably leave it down here. And then I use it in the morning most of the time.
So Joe Coleman.
Goodbye. Good night.
Good night. Joe, he asked, how can you send me some pictures? Easiest way to send pictures is through Instagram. My Instagram is Steel Drum Smokers. No, Caden, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you probably don't have crazy stories. I'm just telling you that your stories are going to get better as you get older. Let's put it that way. Because, I mean, want to hear a story from when I was a kid? Alright. Buddy of mine, I'm helping him work on his car. And we're driving along. And we get back to his house and I'm helping him do his brakes. Brakes are an easy thing to do. So I'm like, alright, you know what? It's cool. I'll help you do the brakes. We get to the point where we're trying to take his lug off, right? The wheel less. Alright, Bongo Sabroso, be easy, man. Que tenga un buena noche. We get back to his house and we cannot break the bolt off. Okay, we can't break the bolt off. I said, you know what? I got a mechanic. Let's go to my mechanic. Alright? Go to my mechanic. My mechanic uses the impact. No problem. He's like, alright, cool. Here you go. Have a good evening. And the sun's is on our way. And we're driving and we're going to, the whole thing was, we were headed to Pep Boys to buy his brakes, right? And we're driving and then my buddy's like, yo man, the car is making a weird noise. And I'm like, what do you mean weird noise? She's like, listen. And we hear, boom, 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 whoom, whoom, whoom. And I'm like, man, whatever. Just keep going. So he's like, well, the noise kind of goes away when we go faster. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we stop at the light and we start back up, and it's like, whoom, 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 and it goes away, right? So the cheesesteaks ended up, they turned out pretty good. I was a fan of the cheesesteaks. Not everyone else was a fan of the cheesesteaks, and that's fine. Like, I don't know. Every now and again, I get on a streak where I want something and I'm going to cook it, and then everyone else is in their feelings or doesn't want to eat what I cook, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, so we're driving along, and my buddy's like, man, this noise is just getting worse and worse. And I'm like, dude, speed up. The noise goes away when you speed up. She's like, all right, whatever. We're driving along, and the wheel pops off of his car. The noise was the fact that my mechanic took and loosened up the bolts, and we had already loosened up. So let's say it was a 5 lug. We'd already loosened up 3 of the 5. My mechanic loosened up 2 more of the 5. And oh my God, man, there's nothing crazier than a car, boom, hitting the ground. You know, the brake rotor hitting the ground because a tire fell off. And it was crazy. Like, we hear boom, 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 boom. Whole car hits the ground. I'm like, oh crap, what the hell is going on? My buddy slams on the emergency brake, the parking brake. He gets out of the car. He's off and running. I'm like, where the hell is he going? I find out later he watched the tire come off and fly off, and he's running behind us to get the tire. Yo, there's nothing like being in a car where the tire falls off, okay? That is a crazy story. I know you said you fell overboard. Being in a moving car where the tire falls off, yeah, that's up there, alright? Then we ended up having to walk to Pep Boys, which was like, I don't know, we had to walk up to Pep Boys and then walk back to his car. We got the car and buy lug nuts, and as well as the brakes that we had to get. We got his car back up onto the tire, tightened everything up, got it back to his house, and I was only able to do brakes on the driver's side. The passenger side, because the rotor, the way that the rotor hit the ground, it tweaked the caliper bolts, and I was never able to change the brakes on that. I can't remember the name my buddy gave that car, but like, I would ask him about that car. Like, he still drove the car for like another year or so afterward, and he only changed the brakes on the driver's side anytime he had to change the brakes because we couldn't get the passenger side brakes off. Funny story. All right, so guys, Kaden, all your stories end up with you in some water, man. I hope you can swim very well. That's what's up, and that you don't, keep your cell phone in your pocket or on your person when you're falling overboard. I'd have been worried for you on the cruise. Oh man, Kaden, shoot, you're crazy, man. 20-degree weather, falling in some water. That's hypothermia, talk right there. Hey, look, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. The fact that I'm working from home, Dr. Ramirez allowed me to sleep in today. I had to log on at 6, and I think I got up this morning at 5:45. So just a quick commute from upstairs to downstairs to where I'm sitting now and on the laptop. So yeah, I figured, what the hey, I'll stay and talk to you guys for a little bit longer. Alright, Arkansas duck races videos. Let's see, y2b.com. Arkansas. Come on. ARKSANSAS. Duck races. Alright, duck boat races or just duck races? Thanks, Elizabeth. Dr. Ramirez. So what do you want me to look up? Duck boat races or duck races? When is the class to be in the SCA judge? Blue Collar Black. It is on next Saturday. Not Saturday coming, but the Saturday the 1st. It's up in Delaware. Last I checked, there was one open seat available if you were contemplating going up there. Caden, talk to me, man. Is it duck boat races or duck races? The video says Arkansas Public Land Duck Hunting Boat Race. Oh, alright. Is that you? Or is that your family? I'm gonna mute this. Only because of the music. I don't want to get copyrighted. Yep, that's the top one. Okay. Caden, cool. Oh, it's a short video. That's a pretty... Hey, DC Cooks, man. How you doing this evening, DC? Yo, this is pretty nuts. My man looks like he's going pretty fast in the middle of the night on a V-hull John boat, and my man is balling out. I'm cool. Like, I don't know if I could do that. I'm good, sir. Definitely. We had a good night. We talked about busted cooks. Like, just quickly, fun but dangerous. Yeah, definitely dangerous. Yo, these trees don't look like they very much bigger than the width of a boat. Oh, all right. Well, I see where the duck hunting comes in. As he's flying through these trees, I see the ducks jumping and running up. And he's probably scaring half to death. Damn. This is pretty crazy. 4 seconds. Smokehouse barbecue. 4 seconds. Anything after 4 seconds. DC, man, every now and again, I got to rope you back in. Like, do you know how much TV I watch and you see like those cliffhangers? It's nothing personal, but will you watch tomorrow's video? Yes or no? And tomorrow's video, yeah. I want to say it's a banger. You know, I like it a lot. That was cool though, Caden. Hey, thanks, man. I can imagine looking at how fast he was going, and oh, DC, I know I've been there before too. And just think about it like this: it's not like a mid-season cliffhanger where you have to wait like 4 to 6 weeks before the outcome. I'm just telling you it's gonna be the next day. I could push it to next week if you want. You let me know. But Caden, I could see how someone could wrap a boat around a tree. Definitely. That's pretty insane. But look, thank you guys. Man, I'm looking at the comments. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. DC, wish you could have been here earlier. Wow, I'm just blown by it. So Caden recommended I watch a video, and like, I don't know how they do it. That's all. Maybe with time and practice it gets easier, but looking at it, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Shoot. Hey, look, you guys, thank you again so very much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Nah, don't worry about it, DC, man. DC, I know you have a heck of a schedule yourself, so I won't say no need to rewatch. Rewatching is cool, but I know that this is 2.5 hours that you really need to sit through. Don't worry about sitting through it, man. Hey, look, we will catch up next week. I'm looking forward to it. We have, what, 10 days left? 10 days? 10 days? Not even 10. 8 days. Is it 8? Anyway, I'll see you, DC, next week. Hey, Caden, thank you so very much again. Yes, Caden, now I do see why you fall out a lot. Hopefully you have a flotation device on while you're on the water. Man, that's crazy. Me being a city boy, that's just something what? Man, you better get yourself a little flotation device. Crazy. But maybe the water is deep enough for you to be able to like stand up and, I don't know. I'm gone for real this time. Thank you so very much, guys, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Just do it. Caden, do it. Just, hit me up on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me, especially when you want to send stuff. Or post it to Instagram and tag me in the picture, and then I'll definitely see it. All right? Thanks again, and I'm gone.